The man-spider mutation is a terrifying transformation where Peter Parker mutates into a monstrous, multi-armed half-human, half-spider, driven by evolving DNA or genetic instability. He temporarily loses his human traits and rational mind. The 1990s animated series most fans know the man-spider from Spider-Man, the animated series Season 2. In the neogenic Nightmare arc, Peter's spider bite triggers a secondary mutation. He first sprouts for extra human arms and eventually transforms into a giant, horrific man-spider before eventually being cured by the Vulture's technologic book Origins. This mutation predates the 90s show. It first appeared in Marvel Fanfare number 2 1984, where Peter was mutated by the mutates in the Savage Land. In the comics, the transformation is often tied to the other storyline, where Peter experiences intense metamorphosis, develops organic webbing, and webs himself into a cocoon. Live-action teases concept has also been teased for live-action, notably in discussions and trailers surrounding the Spider-Man Brand New Day storyline. Fans have speculated on Peter undergoing a horrific metamorphosis involving organic webbing and black pitch eyes. 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4. In Spider-Man, the animated series, Spider-Man's transformation into the man-spider was not caused deliberately, but as a result of his body mutating further from the original radioactive spider bite that gave him his spider powers. This mutation and Spider-Man's quest to get rid of it was the main focus of Season 2, after his attempts to ask Professor X and the X-Men for help developing a cure met with failure, although he was able to assist them in thwarting a monster created when an anti-mutant scientist named Herbert Landon was exposed to a serum that he had developed to remove mutant abilities. Spider-Man turned to his friend Dr. Mariah Crawford for aid. Unfortunately, his initial attempt to cure himself resulted in him growing 4 extra arms, the accelerated mutation subsequently causing him to mutate into the man-spider after fighting the Punisher and a recently mutated Michael Morbius. The mutated Spider-Man retained some of his memories and his emotional responses to seeing his loved ones or people who reminded him of them, but could not communicate with them. His approaches to a young red-haired woman who reminded him of his love Mary Jane Watson, then the real Mary Jane herself, and his attempt to defend his friends Flash Thompson and Deborah Whitman from the now vampiric Morbius, were all perceived as attacks, causing him to retreat from each incident in despair. He certainly retained Spider-Man's heroic nature, perceiving Morbius and the Punisher as threats, though it is implied his human mind was slowly evaporating, given Spider-Man's confusion upon returning to normal. Thanks to the collaboration of Kraven the Hunter, who had reformed the Punisher, and Dr. Crawford, Spider-Man was changed back into his human form, but had to receive special treatments from Dr. Kirk Connors every 24 hours to prevent the mutation from reoccurring. When the Vulture attempted to drain Spider-Man's youth and power in a later adventure, Connors reprogrammed the device that the Vulture was using to absorb the defective genome that had caused the mutation originally, resulting in the Vulture mutating into a man-spider, though the Vulture somehow managed to permanently get rid of the mutation at some unspecified point in time before his next appearance, and curing Spider-Man forever of the defective genome during the concluding Spider-Wars storyline of the TV series, where Spider-Man teamed up with multiple alternate versions of himself at the behest of the Beyonder to save reality from Spider Carnage. One of his counterparts was still dealing with the mutation. However, unlike the other Spider-Man, this counterpart had made use of his 4 extra arms, giving him 4 extra web shooters. Unfortunately, he completely transformed into the man-spider during the mission before the ailing Beyonder was able to use the last of his power to teleport the man-spider back to his home dimension. In the animated TV series, the man-spider was shown spitting acid from his mouth and able to produce webbing from every limb without using web shooters. It can safely be assumed that his strength was increased greatly past Spider-Man's already superhuman levels. Although the man-spider seemed to have regressed to animalistic intelligence and could not communicate verbally, he retained at least some of Peter Parker's memories and feelings for his loved ones. such as Aunt May and Mary Jane, although, at one point, he confused another red-headed woman with MJ, and even his heroic nature, as seen when he intervened in Morbius' attack on Flash Thompson and Deborah Whitman. When persistently hunted and attacked by the Punisher, however, he retaliated ferociously and almost killed him several times. When he saw Flash Thompson after Morbius drained him, the man-spider seemed to be saying F-Flash in his roar, suggesting that he may have been starting to be able to speak. When he changed back into Spider-Man, it is implied that his mind had begun deteriorating after 2 days, as he was confused by his surroundings. Curiously, when the Vulture absorbed the genome, he transformed both to and from his man-spider form sporadically, and in one case only partially, while at the same time retaining his full intelligence, memories, and ability to speak, most likely due to the unstable nature of the absorbed DNA. The comic book version never displayed any noticeably enhanced strength nor acid spitting. However, he retained Peter Parker's consciousness, but was unable at first to overcome his mental conditioning. He managed with some effort to communicate verbally, requesting Khazar to kill him rather than let him live as a monster, although, fortunately, he was turned back into Peter before this became necessary.